Hey, so in this video, I'm going to explain to you the exact strategy from new Alex Hormozi book, the 100 million money models that you can use to add anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000 to your high-ticket business in less than 14 days. And this money model will work best for people who sell info or service-based high-ticket offer, have been struggling to get past $15,000 to $25,000 a month plateau for a while, and they have great fulfillment and value relationships with their clients. And this is, to be honest, something that I would execute as fast as possible in any high-ticket business that has more than 5 clients with exceptional results. Meaning, if I were to literally have a bet with someone to add anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000 in less than 14 days, this is exactly what I would do. The cool thing about this breakdown right here is that you have this one insight from Hormozi's book distilled into an actionable step for high ticket offers specifically. Because this video, okay, is definitely not gonna be about another theory, algorithm hack, or another just niche down advice, okay? But instead, it's gonna be hands-on actionable step that you can use and that I use on daily basis with my clients. Like for example, with Dylan right here, and you can check the entire testimonial on my Instagram. Okay, so let's get it. The whole idea is about high ticket upsells, and I'm gonna cover 3 steps. First of all, how to identify the opportunity. Second, how to sell the upsell. And lastly, how to actually price it. So let's start with the first one. And to be honest, the sell the upsell is probably the most important thing. But let's start with the first one. Identify the opportunity. So the last thing that we want, right, is to destroy a relationship with a client that we work for all of those months, because we didn't identify the right time to propose the upsell to them. So let's talk about this one common misconception, okay? So if we imagine the entire journey of a customer, right? This is what most people imagine, right? That you spend all of this attention here, all of this time, all of this money building up, the ads, the funnel, the sales process, and so on, right? And you start right here with a cold lead, and right here you close them, and let's say you offer $6,000, right? So you did all of this work, and let's say that you spend like $2,000 on ads to get him, so that's, $2,000 cost per acquisition. So you have 3x on your investment, right? And most people imagine that this is how the entire process should look like, right? You spend $2,000 on ads, you have some kind of funnel in place, some kind of sales team in place, or maybe you are doing this on your own, okay, that's cool, and you ended up selling someone for $6,000, so you are happy because you just made $4,000 in profit, let's say. But this is actually not how the entire client journey should look like, okay? Because instead it should look something like this, okay? So let me explain that to you. So everything here stays the same, right? So you do all the ads, you do all the funnel, sales, appointment setting, all of that. And here you also sell him for $6,000, right? But because you already did all of this work and you already spent all of this money right here on the front end, why waste all of this potential right here that I'm gonna talk about in a second, and instead just collect $6,000 from him? When right here, maybe it's another, 10, maybe even $15,000 in few months left to be collected from him, right? And if you consume anything from Alex Hormozi, you know that higher LTV, right? So lifetime value of a customer equals happy life. So if instead of, spending $2,000 and getting $6,000 back, you can spend $2,000, right? And get not 6, but let's say $20,000. Then you just literally, instead of having a 3x on your cash, you made 10x. So more than tripled your business, because the profit, right? Here you have 4,000 and here you have $18,000 in profit. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16. So that's actually almost 4.5x your business, right? Doing just this one change. So this is why it's so huge, right? Because this right here, this is your fulfillment. If your fulfillment is key, right? As I said at the beginning, you have at least 5 clients with exceptional results, maybe 3 clients with exceptional results. You can really take all of this juice right here and make this into a profit. So let's go back to what I was saying, right? So knowing this, right, of course it's costing you more money. Like that's the obvious one, that's what I said. But it's also costing you something maybe even more in today's market, more valuable, so more and better client testimonials, right? Because if you work with someone for only 3 months and you achieve, let's say, X, that's one thing. But if you work with someone for 9 months and you achieve 3 times the X, right? Whatever the X is, that's much more valuable, especially today when we are in this trust recession, let's say, right? And yeah, the last thing is, of course, less headache on the front end. Because if you need to spend $2,000 and you are getting $20,000 back, let's say, then that means that first of all, you can spend much more to get an ideal lead in. Second, you don't need to deal with as much of sales costs to get the equivalent of profit or revenue, and you end up working with better people because you don't need to constantly rush for another client, but you can get the best clients and then you can focus on the fulfillment and driving those incredible results. Okay, so right now, when we know that higher LTV again equals happy life, what we can do about it, right? The ideal scenario is that clients upgrade into the next step flawlessly. And let me show you how you can do that. So there's going to be two parts of it. The first one is what we're going to sell, and the second, when we're going to sell it. This one is key, okay? So first of all, what we're going to sell. So think about this. You work with this person for X amount of time, right? And you got him the great results that you gave him, and it can be literally anything, right? We're going to talk about at the end. That's a deadly combo. What I mean by that is this person already trusts you and likes you. So don't overthink that, okay? So sell the next step, the logical step. So if we again think about back here, right? You have all the ads, all the funnel, and everything, right? And here you sell someone for $6,000, right? This is what we are going to talk about. What do you actually sell here? The next logical step, right? So if you sell e-com and maybe your front-end offer to get them to launch a successful, profitable e-com brand and maybe get to $10,000 in profit or $20,000 in revenue, right? That's your front-end offer. Then we know that this person most likely wants to scale to 50, 100K months in revenue in e-com. So just sell them that, right? Because you know probably how to do that. And you can help them. Of course, you're going to be helping them with different stages. So for example, if on the front end offer, you help them with, finding the product, running the first ads, if you're going to scale them to 50 or 100K, you're going to help them with completely different stuff. So it makes sense for you to upsell them to more one-to-one mentoring when you just help them with different stuff like supplying or anything different that you do in e-com. I'm not an expert in e-com. Another example, if you sell, let's say, mindset coach, and you help someone go from 90 days from like having mental troubles to feeling better, right now you can sell them a different, maybe longer 6-month transformation that you will help them actually use, this free time right now, this free mind space to do better in the world or something like that. If you sell body transformation like a fitness coach, maybe you help someone get from being like obese to being like in good shape, but most likely this person would like to have a six-pack, right? So you sell them on that. And it is that simple. So sell them the next logical step. And now, when we're gonna sell it? Very, very important. Can't stress this enough, okay? Done wrong, it can literally destroy the relationship we've been building for a long time. So let's think for a second, what would be a terrible time to upsell someone? Someone just had a bad experience with you. So maybe, we are humans. Maybe you did something wrong. Maybe some bad event happened, like anything, right? And also the second, they have like personal problems in their life. This is the worst time to upsell someone. So let's just invert that. And that would mean that someone just had an amazing experience with you, some kind of big win, and they have a chill time in their life, right? And you know them because this is your client. You probably have great relationship with them, like I said at the beginning. And yeah, see like how simple is that? So now all you have to do is to introduce the idea. So let's go to the second step, which is sell the upsell. So most people overcomplicate that, okay? And trust me, if you have a client that just had a big win and you deliver on your initial promise, so we are talking about what we just said a second ago, it's simple, real simple. And that's exactly how you do it. So ideally, your client just had a big win. And the first voice note, hey man, just wanted to explain how great their win was. And I thought about when you started working with them, how bad their situation was and how good it is right now. So you basically say, congratulations, really proud of you. And I just thought about when we first started working together. You explain all the pain points and you say to them, and yeah, look at us. Who would have thought, right? And of course, make it less or more emotional depending on your business, right? So again, if you're a mindset coach or you deal with like people very like they open up to you, of course it will be on the more emotional side. But if you have some kind of boring business, when you don't really get involved with people and it comes to like emotions, of course don't make it sound like this, you know what I mean? So this is the first step. Then let them reply to that, and after that the second voice. Yeah, and I've been thinking about one thing for a while, and I would love to talk to you about it soon. We will be down for a call on Monday, and 99% of people will ask, yeah, what's up? So the first voice note. Yeah, I've been thinking about their transformation, and I just feel with you specifically, okay, really important, with you specifically, we can be doing so much more and achieving even better goals that you know they want, okay? So you probably know, you speak to this client probably every single day right now, and you know like what goals they have, right? Like we talked about, maybe they scale to 10K with their ecom, but they want to go to 50K. Okay, completely different goal. And funny enough, they probably have more motivation to achieve that, because when they go from, let's say, $3,000 to $10,000, like the difference, that it's just a 3x, but going from 10 to 50, it's 5x. So you can charge much more than that. That's first of all. And second, the people, if they already are on 10K, they have different also priorities and they have different reasons why they want to do that. And you will know that because most likely, if let's say if you are teaching econ, right? So that would be an example of like an info offer, then you know how you felt. If you are selling service, then also is a little different, but you get the idea, right? For example, again, like they are not fat now, but they want a six-pack in the future. And that's literally it. So that's how you schedule the call. And now you hop on a call and you have a normal human chat about the recent success, what's up with life, all of that. After like 10 to 20 minutes, if they don't do it themselves, you frame the call. And you frame the reason for the call and you basically say that again. So yeah, I've been thinking about that transformation and I just feel like with you specifically, we can be doing so much more, all of that. We already covered that. And they at the end say, yes, so what's the goal for you right now? And how do you feel about what I just said? What's your goal for now? And they will tell you that. So get clear on their goal and then ask them, do you think with my help you would reach the goal faster? Of course, if you delivered, if you actually gave them the transformation, they will say, of course. Then pitch. And that's important. Make it sound different. So make it sound different in the sense of what actually you will be solving, like what type of problems you will be solving with them. Also make it sound different when it comes to the language that you use, when it comes to the emotional triggers of theirs, right? Because again, most likely those people will have just slightly different emotional triggers, not like completely different, but make it sound different because they cannot remember the pitch from the first call, from the call that you sold them. Because it will, maybe if someone is like on the edge of doing that with you, which is like you will get about like 75 to 100 to 90% conversion rate from that, to be honest. But if someone is on the edge and they will hear the same language that they remember maybe from the first call, then you are cooked. So don't do that, okay? Then remember to be their friend, right? Mentor the call. So that means using phrases like that, right? Or doesn't it sound familiar to you? Remember, John, when you said the same thing to me on our first call 8 months ago? And when objection handling, right? Use those, definitely. And then don't be scared to push and handle objections, because you may think, right, that if you put all of this great work, if you deliver those crazy results to this client, that they will literally just say, yep, take my money. And it will happen. Like the best clients, they will just say, yep, good to go, let's run. But usually, this is the sad truth, when you will actually drop the price, even though the person knows that this will be great for them, they will just go back, right? Because when the price is dropped, people forget, okay, about what is best for them. And because they are just scared. So you just need to remember them. So don't be scared to objection handle when you need. And yeah, that means sold. So that's all good, but how do we price it? So let me tell you that, okay? And that one is very straightforward. So I would start from anywhere from 80 to 120% higher than the initial ticket. So that means if you charge someone 6K for the initial ticket, you would charge anywhere from, let's say 11K to 13K. And the most common thing that I heard my clients say about this is that they are just like, wow, that's quite a lot. We charged them 6K a few months ago. Now we're going to charge them 12K. And that's just, of course, like an example. Of course, if your ticket is 3K, then you're going to charge like 5 to 7K, right? It's not that big of a difference. But what I mean is like, if you actually gave them this value, like when you actually deliver the results that you said, when you actually 10x the value when it comes to 6K, you deliver like $60,000 of value. And it doesn't mean, of course, it's easy when you sell like more like money-oriented things with numbers, but also when you sell like fitness stuff, right? Like how valuable is losing 100 pounds and being able to go upstairs without having a sweat, right? And being able to play with their kids and all of that. Like it's more than $60,000 even, probably. So don't be scared to charge like a high ticket because it's worth. Again, it's upsell. It's if you have 20 clients, that's for free. That's for the free best performance, the clients that you enjoy working with the most, you have least trouble with, those are the clients, right? So don't be scared. So important thing also is he needs to feel like it's again a big investment, right? So that's again why this number. He needs to feel like this is a big change, like this is a risk, and most importantly, that it is valuable, okay? Because if they just witness this transformation with you, and you're gonna say to them, yeah, it's 8K, even though they paid 6K 5 months ago when they were in 10 times worse situation than right now, and in the financial situation, let's say if you are selling like something money connected, then they need to actually feel like, okay, like if I am paying 13K for that, I'm gonna get 10x, right? So I'm gonna get 130K in value. That's the goal. So don't be scared to charge those big numbers, okay? And those big numbers, of course, are relative. So if you are charging, 20K upfront, then those numbers again would be anywhere from like, let's say 28 to, 32, 34, well, 26 to 34, I think. My math maybe it doesn't count. Yeah, and if you do all of those three things correctly, right, you can easily add anywhere from like 25 to probably 50K plus in revenue to your bottom line, because this is all profit. That's the best thing, in less than 14 days, starting literally from today. So I hope it was valuable, and see you in the next one.